Okay, today's pro bike comes from a rather wet Germany ahead of Challenge Roth, and I'm delighted to be joined by previous course winner from 2012, James Cunnama. And I hope you have better conditions than this. This is pretty miserable.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be hot and sunny on race day, so we get ready to get this out the way ahead of time.
Okay, so today we're going to be going through a bike that I'm pretty familiar with. It's a Cervélo P5X. Okay, so first of all, we need to talk about the frame. It is a beam frame design. It's quite unique. James, talk me through how you find it, the riding, the size of the frame.
Yeah, it's the large frame. Equivalent, I was on a 56 on the P5. I went to this frame on the P5X. I've been riding it now since Kona 2016, so 18 months, so over 18 months now, and love it. They went with the beam design, got rid of the seat stays and the seat post, and obviously there's a lot of turned heads when that came out, and I think Cervélo wouldn't build a bike that didn't work, and I think that was why it took so long for beam bikes to come back after those original ones 20 years ago.
Cool. So for those out there that don't understand sort of the reasoning behind that, so the idea of taking away that seat tube and the seat stays is obviously for aerodynamics. So every time the airflow has to go around a frame, it comes in, it creates turbulence, and then it's having to go around another seat tube at the back here. So the idea is you take that away, you smoothen out the airflow, and also I've heard that it minimizes the vibration to your legs. How much? I don't know.
I'm certainly very comfortable on this bike. I haven't, vibrations on various road surfaces has not been an issue at all. I haven't had any, issues with it being flexible or anything like that. It feels like a normal, stable, sturdy bike that you would be on at any other point. But obviously there's nothing underneath you.
Okay, now let's take a look at the front end, the cockpit and your setup. And one thing I've noticed is, unlike mine, you've actually got the bars coming up.
Yeah. That obviously makes no difference when you're down in your aero bars, but as far as the comfort thing goes, when you're not in your aero bars or when you're climbing, I just find it more comfortable than having the extremely low. I think it's 6 centimeters that it goes down if you flip it. So you can flip these bars, put this one on that side and this one on this side, and the whole thing goes down 6 centimeters on your base bar position. But I don't really see the advantage of that. Ideally you'll be spending almost all your race in your aero bars anyway, and the few times when you're not in your aero bars, you kind of want to be sturdy and stable. So that's why I chose to flip those. That was a decision I made right in the beginning, and I haven't actually even experimented with flipping it.
Great, and then onto the poles themselves. Again, this is a little change that you've made. So you've gone for an S-bend.
My previous P5, I had the S-bend, and I decided when I changed, we actually changed just before Kona 2016, and I wanted the same position. They put me in the same position, and I'm very comfortable. I've tried the ski bend since then, and I've gone back to these S-bend.
Great, and then on the end of those and on the ball horns, you've got Shimano Di2 Shifters, so it's quite nice if you're not in the aero bars, you can still shift on the corners, descents and whatnot. And then on the aero bars itself, you've also got your Wahoo Element bolt, which I believe is a partner of yours. And then you've also got your hydration setup. So talk me through that.
The X-Lab Torpedo I use only in races. And this is my main hydration source. So I will top it up with the valve here at the aid stations and put energy drink if I feel like energy drink, or water if I feel like water in here. While down on the frame I have a bottle with really concentrated gel mixture in it.
Okay, now let's move on to the wheel set, the brakes. Obviously we've got disc brakes on the P5X. How do you find them?
Disc brakes are revolutionary. I can't praise them enough. I can't believe it took so long for disc brakes to get onto the road bikes. People say you don't need them in a time trial bike, but the thing with brakes is you don't need them until you need them, and then you really need the best brakes that are available. Yeah. And these are the best brakes that are available. I've been training in St. Moritz on the mountains. Disc brakes are the future. All bikes should be disc brakes, and will be soon, I'm sure.
You've currently got the TRP disc brakes on there. And then onto the wheels themselves, you've got the Enve 7.8. And on those, the tyres, you've got the Schwalbe Pro ones in a 25 mil, but they're tubeless. Probably our first tubeless on the channel yet. So
I find that hard to believe. I'm surprised more people haven't adopted tubeless. It's really easy to work with. I mean, the Schwabi tube, they even say tubeless easy. They're easy. They really are easy to install, easy to maintain, easy to work with. It's a matter of, the only thing is getting the pressure to get them seated. Once you've got them seated, put some sealant in. They actually saved my race last year when I won 70.3 Weymouth, about 10 Ks from the finish. I heard and a little bit of spray of sealant, and I thought, oh no, I'm leading by miles and I'm going to be stuck on the side of the road. And I bounced the front wheel a little bit, and sure enough, it had sealed, and I carried on the rest of the race.
Just lost a few PSI.
Lost a few PSI and carried on racing, didn't lose any time.
How about when you're traveling with it? Still just easy? Just as
easy. Obviously, you need to be conscious of the sealant and how long it's been in there, and that it hasn't gone hard or that it hasn't gone ineffective. But it lasts a few months anyway, so you don't have to worry too much about that. Obviously, for any big race like this one or then Kona, I would reinstall them completely, new sealant, check the rim tape, everything, but only for the major races. To be honest, if I did a 70.3 a few weeks after this, I would use exactly the same setup, the same wheels.
Okay, now moving back through the bike and onto the crankset area. As I've already mentioned, we've got Shimano Dura Ace, and it's the 90/70 group set, front mech and rear mech. But let's chat about the Rotor 2 Power crankset power meter. You're running a 170 crank length. How do you find that? It's obviously quite short for yours.
Yeah, I went shorter a few years ago, and when I got my position dialed in, and I was pretty happy with it. I don't feel like there's any real sacrifice. Maybe when you're powering up a hill standing up, you have a slightly smaller range, but that doesn't happen very often in triathlon. More comfortable in the aero bars.
Okay, cool. And you're running a 54/39 chainring setup. And on the end of your cranks, you've got the Shimano Dura Ace pedals. Moving back from that, all linked by this rather white chain. So this is the Ceramic Speed UFO chain. And you pop this on for each race?
Yep, most races. It's a noticeable difference when you put it on. Obviously, it wears off after a few hundred kilometers. But yeah, very noticeable difference on race day. So any important race gets a white chain.
So you put a brand new one on for each race, and then maybe train with it after a few.
Yeah. So I would use this now for the next month of training in Switzerland, and then probably put a new one on for Ironman Hamburg at the end of the month.
Great. And then go back from that, it's linked with the 1125 Shimano cassette, and then your big Ceramic Speed OSPW jockey wheels. You've been riding these for quite a while.
Yeah, I have a few years now. Very happy with them. They also all these noticeable differences. You would think sooner or later you wouldn't have to pedal your bike, but they do make a difference. There is a noticeable feel when you put that on for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about these quite a bit on the channel before and other pro bikes, but the idea behind it is that you're essentially smoothing out the chain flow rather than it going through tight angles, eliminating that friction, saving you valuable watts. We've got the Cobb Plus saddle. You've tried out a lot of different saddles.
Yeah.
Chosen
the thing with saddles is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The saddle works, and I'm not messing with my saddle.
So it's kind of got that split nose sort of design.
Yeah. I do tend to sit right on that cushiony point in the front.
Yeah. So the idea, again, something we've covered a lot on the channel in the past, is that if you can get yourself comfortably perched on the end, tilt those hips around, get into a really nice and aerodynamic position. Well, that's been great fun just chatting about your bike in this shed and keeping out of the rain. Best of luck for the weekend, James.
Thanks.
If you like this bike and you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you'd like to see more videos from GTN, just click on the globe and subscribe.
And if you want to see more of the P5X in action, you can see Mark comparing it to a road bike. Just click here.
Yep, and if you'd like to see the descent version of that, just click down here.